Welcome back to Wepner Farms Productions, and welcome back to our June is Dairy Month series. Be a 5 or 7 day series. We'll see how crazy I get, but I'm picking up the camera every single day to keep you guys updated on a full week of farming here on Wepner Farms. Today we're starting off in our maternity pen, our pre-fresh bedding pack. We had a hot dog this morning, a little fresh one. Just put him in the room not too long ago while I was cleaning out the pen and stuff. So he or she is chilling in this room here. We'll give him a look right here. He or she is. It's a little heifer. Welcome to this world on this fine Tuesday morning. First things first, this little bugger's got to get his vaccines. This first one we're giving is a scour guard. We're going to give that to him in the mouth. Squirt it in there. This vaccine is specifically made for helping with rotavirus. It's just a sickness, so that's no good for calves. And if we can do everything we can to prevent that, that's what we're gonna do. We've got a few cows that I think are gonna have calves today. She looks ready to pop, but so far, this cow here, 5649, is the only one that has freshened. So we're gonna go ahead and get her milk so that calf can get a good drink of milk this morning, and yeah, be a good time. Come on, Tootsie. We got the cow in here, stripping all the quarters out. Make sure we got good milk, and then we'll be ready to put the milk around here. So, have to do this. Minimal hands. Now we're milking a cow. Darn bird's got poop on the ground here. It's gross. So we got our milk. We got a little over 3/4 of milk in here. They're feeding colostrum 2 times, so we'll get a second feeding tonight. So I'm just gonna tube it. Come on, little buddy. This way we know it gets its full feeding. If you know anything about colostrum, it is pretty much its most important drink is this first one, and we need to make sure we're getting it all the nutrients and all the basic antibodies that it needs to survive, because calves are born with no immune system, and this is basically their immune system we're putting in. There we have it. Little buddy's all done. Off to a good life, hopefully. Now that we got our pre-fresh taken care of, we're gonna go and look at our cows down here. We pulled that one yesterday for mastitis, and we're just looking at her report here. We pulled her, she had a fever, so this is when we pulled her. She gave 55 pounds that morning. She went 24 hours without milking because obviously she wasn't feeling well. That's part of the reason we caught her. Temperature was 104, we can see over here. Gave her that aspirin and she's been holding 102.9 since, so just under 103, which is perfectly tolerable. I know that I said that I was worried about the fever because of the calf that was inside of her. Now that we were able to eliminate the fever, things are looking a little better. Looking at visits here, this was that following night. She gave 30 pounds and she gave 50 pounds this morning. A total of 81 pounds So she has really jumped up in milk since, probably because she's getting milked 2 times a day. Well, see, look at her intervals. She was going, actually for quite a while she was doing 20-hour intervals, and that's really not ideal. Obviously it was maybe a fetch cow in the afternoon and maybe a lack of communication, not being able to say that she was not coming, because I see that she was, actually a lot of times in the morning she was coming on her own, so nobody was seeing that she was getting that far out. Anyways, looking at her behavior, we can see that her milk production is jumping way up. Her rumination is coming up a little bit, and her eating minutes. So this is just 1 day of treatment. We're gonna do another 2 days on her and make sure that she's perfectly healthy before we put her back in the pen. So we'll have to go and treat her left front, same as we did yesterday. And we're gonna hold off on the aspirin because she broke her fever and seems to be doing all right there. So we'll definitely keep an eye on her temperature, but I think that she's gonna be full recovery mode now. We are in the process of treating her right now. This is what I stripped out of her quarters. A little bit on the cloddy side today. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you guys watched the video yesterday, she was creamy, and then her manure consistency, a lot less corn in it today. So either that's because she's eating less and maybe not eating as much grain out of the robots, because that's probably where that corn came from that we saw. Chance that it was high moisture corn, because we were having some processing issues with our high moisture corn, but who knows. But we're gonna treat that quarter again. Hopefully it keeps progressively getting better. Yeah, like I said, those clots are not necessarily a bad thing to see. The milk is still there and it's not getting watery, so it's just gonna be a matter of treating it and it getting better. Today's the big day. Corn is coming up in the field. Cows are eating our corn. They're headed off to pasture somewhere else. So cows and calves are here. We're gonna try to get them on the trailer. Rise and shine. Nice and easy. There you go, girlies. There you go. Up on the trailer. There you go.
You guys grab the calves, grab the calves.
What's going up? Oh, buddy. Excuse me. This way. There you go. So apparently I don't get to come along and drop the cows off, which is fine, but you guys aren't going to be able to see them get off the trailer. But I got another project I'm going to work on. The cows are actually headed over to pasture. It's actually our retired veterinary that used to do veterinarian work here. He has a whole bunch of pasture. He used to have a whole bunch of sheep and had all the pasture. So we actually have a bunch of heifers out there, and then we have some of those collared cows. So there's a few more Angus out there, and they're going to be run separately with the no fence collars, or those are Gallagher no fence collars, but they're going to go join the rest of those Angus, and then they're just going to be out there. All right, new game. How much junk is in the way? A lot of it. Here's what we're going for. These are easy drops. They're for wide dropping. Got them like middle of winter. Getting that, putting them on now because we're gonna be using them in a couple weeks. We need to get that out of the way, that out of the way, and hopefully not this because I don't know if that even runs. But maybe we'll be able to finagle it out. So I guess I'll check back in when I got all this junk out of the way. Well, we got her out. It's a good time. Check that out. Low fuel. I love this. I got all the tools we should need, which involves actually just 1/2 inch socket and a impact to put these on. I figured no better place to set them up than in the field so that I can really see what I'm working with and just kind of get an idea of where it's gonna be driest, because it's not exactly dry out here. It's not muddy, but just goofy. I think we're gonna pull up about this far. Need to find, I think I want to be 17 rows in, I'm pretty sure. And then my booms actually hang over into what would be the inside of the field. So in here somewhere, my booms are gonna hang over. So I'm kind of curious how many rows are gonna hang over. So when I do my outside rounds, I'm obviously probably gonna shut that section off or whatever it is. We'll figure that out later. So we're gonna pull the sprayer up into the field here on our 17th row, and then we're gonna try to set it up that way. So yeah, 17th row, this is our guest row. That should be 16 spacings in, so offset from the first row is, I guess when I was counting rows, I was counting in between rows. So we're gonna run the sprayer down this one so that our outside wide drop is in between the outside 2 rows. Because if I ran down the guest row, then my boom would be overhanging that last nozzle. So I think that's how we want to do it, hopefully. There we go, sprayer in cornfield. Pretty neat. So yeah, every nozzle, essentially we have 1 nozzle to every row, I think. They should, well, I don't know, because they should be, should have brought a tape measure. I don't know, my math isn't mathing very well here. I thought there would be a nozzle on every row, but I don't know that the nozzles are 30-inch spacing. We're way out, holy man. Jeez. I was not expecting that. We might have to do some math here. I really hope my sprayer isn't bigger than I thought it was. I thought we were 90-foot booms. We have overhang on that side, overhang on this side. I mean, I'm 6 foot. I laid down on that, plus that on that side. With 90-foot booms, we should be 10 feet of overhang. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for my well-beings right now. Yep, we're YouTubing it. Easy drops is showing me how. So yeah, that's what we want to be doing with the easy drops, is unfolding and applicating. We'll see what they tell us to do. Okay, after some further investigation, we should not start on the outside of the sprayer. So we want to start in the center. He said it should be 10 inches. Look at that, 10 inches from center. So this will be where our first wide drop is going to be, right here. And then since it is every other row, we'll hit this one, skip this one, and then somehow we're supposed to hit this one. So I think we'd be using that nozzle, and then probably this one, and so on and so forth. So said you're supposed to kind of mark them out, but I didn't bring a pencil with me, so we'll just kind of start here and work our way down. Also noticed I must have some type of hydraulic leak. This cylinder here must be must be leaking there. I don't know if that is loose or what the deal is. I think it looks like it somehow must be loose. Have to put a wrench on that and see if we can't tighten that up. Otherwise, we're gonna have to put Big Ricky on it. And I see we got a little bit of hose wear here as well, so that's nice. Anyways, let's see if we can figure it out. So, kind of just got to put one together here, kind of have a better understanding what I'm doing. So, these ones here are the offsets, so that's gonna bring our wide drops out, or easy drops. I don't want to say wide drops because they're not wide drops. So these are what's gonna bring it away from the boom. So there are certain places where we're gonna need offsets because of where the nozzle bodies are positioned and where the booms are gonna fold. So we need to make sure that there's not gonna be any pinching involved with the hose. So that's kind of what these offsets are supposed to do. So I guess we'll just start in the center and we'll work our way out. We should be 60-inch spacing because it's every other row. And we'll just kind of go from there. Start in the center. So actually the center of the sprayer, there will not be one there, and we're going to offset one row on each side and work our way out, I think. I hope. Otherwise we're gonna have a mess. We got our first one done, as far as I know. Here it is. Took me a couple tries, but we got this that brings it out. These are adjustable in or out, so I just have this one all the way out right now. I'll probably move it all the way in, and then the rest of them will be all the way out so that they're straight to one another, I'm pretty sure. And then rises for the offset, whatever. Then these connect on to this thing. I'm just gonna run them straight. Looks like there's room for adjustment if you wanted to adjust it a little bit up and down. But then there's just this pin that holds this on. I mean, there won't be that much tension. Obviously this is really stiff because I got it smashed to the ground at the moment. When we're actually applicating with this, the booms will be quite a ways up in the air. I just have them way down here for working on. But yeah, that's how they're gonna be mounted. I kind of have that one done. Won't take much to finish that one up, but I have all my marks marked. It's just a matter of putting them all on, and then this hose will connect to my nozzle body. This will control my flow rates. We got flow meter, whatnot, and then we'll have to obviously plug these. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. Just a matter of putting them all on now. I actually did call them and their customer service was phenomenal. Come to find out, they sent directions. So it actually tells you how you're supposed to do it. So yeah, hopefully I'm doing everything right. We'll find out at the end when I'm missing a bunch of parts. But they're pretty simple actually once you get putting the first one on. Alright, I will say the second one was a lot more fun than the first one. Also found more parts. There's a sleeve here that pin goes through. That way that can't slide quite so far. So, about got her figured out now. I think it'll be a lot quicker as we keep going. By the time we're done, we'll be so fast at it, we'll want to buy another sprayer and do another set of them. So, yeah, I can tell that one's out quite a ways. So I'm thinking we'll adjust that in just so that they're all straight, so that they'll all shut off at the same time. I can probably play with my shut off up there so that it ends at the right time, but I think we'll probably be all right because once these hit the end, they shut off now. By the time that cleans out, you think that you'd be to the end of the row, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Alright, this actually worked out really nice. Got half the sprayer done. Well, technically not quite a half, because you know how we were questioning our abilities of doing math earlier. We do have 100-foot booms. Always thought they were 90. They're hundreds. Cool though. Now I can flex my 100-foot booms. Always saying I had 90-foot and people were giving me crap. Well, we got hundreds now, baby. So yeah, these are done. Basically up here, when we fold up, this is gonna flip over top. So When it does that, these will just catch on these 90-degree pieces here, and then they'll just kind of sit parallel with the boom, and then these will just hang down straight. It is going to be a pretty wide machine by the time it's folded up. Those are going to stick out a little past the wheels, but I think that's with any wide drops. So this other side should go pretty quick, I think, now that I know what I'm doing. That side took me longer than I care to admit, but I'm gonna get everything laid out here now that I know what I'm doing. I'll be able to just zip right along. So I gotta measure out that side because I marked all these so I knew where to put them. So we'll get that side on and then we'll try it out, see how it folds, and then take them all back off because we still have spraying to do. So yeah, otherwise it's going really smooth. We got them all on. Took us probably about half the day. I'd say I've got about a good, well, what time is it? Look at the time quick. A good probably 4 hours it took me to put these on in total. About an hour of that was trying to figure out what I was doing. I actually gave Easy Drops a call. Customer service was great. Actually, I gave them 2 calls because when I found out that these were truly 100-foot booms, we needed to get more of these. So there's one more L bracket and all this stuff you see here. I got 2 more of those coming to finish off the sprayer. But other than that, she's ready to rock and roll. I don't have these hooked up yet. I did message my spraying group chat and asked how they hook them up, if they go through these nozzle bodies or if they go through the popettes. And other thing is, I think I can just unplug these and then these won't work, so I should be able to do that to turn those off, I'm pretty sure, because if they quit working or the solenoid quits working, then they don't spray at all. So I have to, I think that's the case. Anyways, so I don't have any of those hooked up, nor am I probably gonna hook them up because I'm gonna take these all back off because I am gonna spray. I just wanted everything set up and ready to go for when I do need a wide drop. When you go to pull these off, all you do, pull this pin, pull that off. Now you don't have wide drops anymore. Want to go do some side dressing, line your hole back up. Usually do it with 2 hands, but since I'm a gifted child, I'll stick you there and stick it back on, and then whatever we got to do with the nozzle bodies, I'm unsure on that, but I do want to try and fold it up. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, seeing that I got all these extra hoses hanging around, but I think it's worth a try. Okay, we're all stiffened up. I think we're at about the height we're gonna run at. See how these look? I don't think that looks too bad. Looks like it's gonna go down the cornrow. The whole point of these is that you're gonna run it right next to one side of the cornrow, and then it just eliminates, because like your typical wide drops, you run every single row and you typically run 60 feet because you can't fold with other wide drops on because they're on their own bracket, stuff like that. Now with these, you should be able to run it at the full 100 feet, or we are going to be able to. And yeah, we're just going to do every other row. Every row is going to get nitrogen, but it's not getting applied on both sides. So this one kind of looks like it's off a little bit. Maybe not. It's a little bit crooked. This one might be too. But I don't know. Maybe it's not. I measured it out, so it should be right. So I guess, I mean, we'll go try it when we go to do it. And if it's not going down the rows, we'll just have to loosen it up and slide it over that ½ inch, ¼ inch we got to do. So yeah, I'm excited. We babbled in a little wide dropping last year, saw really good results from it, so we went ahead and bit the bullet and bought these. So hopefully they do everything we're hoping they're gonna do. I lied, we're not ready. This one is set wrong. This has got to be the other way around. So I just got to loosen those 4 bolts up, flip this whole thing around and put it the other way so it's like this one. Because when this folds over, like I said before, it's gonna catch on that, and then it's gonna keep it from flipping all the way over. It's kind of the thing. All right, raised all the way up. Gonna try folding now. Wide drops are rotating. Don't see any pinching or anything. We are going to now bring our boom in. And set it down. And same with the other side. Struggling. It's in. Alright, so let's go see what it looks like. Well, they're up there. Nothing's getting pinched. They actually lay up there really nice. I'm actually kind of impressed. I didn't really expect that to look that nice up there. They just rolled right over and they sat up on top. These ones are a couple inches above the ground. These are mid to high clearance. I don't have a high clearance sprayer, so this is, I wanted to get the highest ones I get so we can side dress as late into the season as we possibly can. I am able to run in corn all the way up until it tassels. I mean, we'll probably be hitting the corn with the booms probably, but they said it's possible. So most of it will be done maybe up to shoulder height or somewhere in there, I think is the highest we're probably gonna go. But yeah, it looks good. Looks like we're clearing the tires all right. I don't think yep, they can't even, if you wanted to, the springs are holding them back from flying into the tire. You'd really have to get them swaying through that. This side, this is just our hose. This will be mounted up there onto something like that. So yeah, I don't know, I like it. I'm happy. We'll go ahead and unfold it and pretend that like we're wide dropping for a little bit, make a few foot pass, and then take them all back off. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so much fun. Look at those little guys back there. Just chilling. Just chilling back there. Love it. Alright, well, so that's enough fun. Well, I don't know where we're going to take these off. I don't really want to take them off in the field. I already spent all day in the field. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yep, should be a good time. Should be a party. Got this box here now. Oh, another thing, they left lots of extra parts. There's a couple pieces of aluminum here. The instructions manual. And then lots of extra U-bolts in here. And extra nuts for them, and that's pretty much it. All you need is a 1/2 inch. That's the only thing I used was a 1/2 inch wrench to put these on. Looky here. Got a couple of twins. What do you guys think? Oh, wonderful. Couple of cute little buggers. Well, we're back by the pasture. I don't know what's going on. Found the Ricky's. Got one poly perimeter fence, and then cows will be grazing down here. Looks pretty, but that's about it. Really nice view. Be pretty with some cows down here. Alrighty, that's it for today. We are gonna head her home. We got everything accomplished that we got done today. So it's a good time. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.